We are at the end of a currency bubble, and they need a big global emergency to cover up this Ponzi scheme. So NATO and the U.S. are now conducting operations inside Russia. Janet Yellen says the U.S. can still avoid a recession. We're on the right track, she says, in terms of lowering inflation. What are you smoking, Janet? I want some. Klaus Schwab, WEF, World Economic Forum, just warned that the U.S. is in for a major recession in 2023, and he's happy about it because he planned it. We're already in a recession, but this is going to be major. I would agree with you, Klaus. These people need to get their story straight. Putin could shift power overnight. Gold, gold, gold. Putin could flip the switch on the Western price cap on oil and only accept gold for oil. Gold could skyrocket to $3,600 an ounce. The West would be done. It would be a very dark future for the West. Oh, and by the way, YouTube is censoring my channel, removing views and engagement. I got a nice email. Remember, talking about God is bad, and stating other facts about certain things is bad. So, no, you can't do that. You know, bottom line, you can't stop me from talking to my local communities and conducting speaking engagements at hotels. I will be unleashing the Kraken around the country. Take care. The party has begun, ladies and gentlemen. The mark of the beast has revealed itself in the UK. The UK prepares to introduce CBDC, the digital pound, the great reset. The once fairy tale, a conspiracy, is now in plain view. I've talked about this for over a year. I'll include the links at the end of the video. Well, the champagne corks are popping in Davos, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, leaders in the EU stated cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum should be banned due to their excessive ecological footprint. That was a top European central banker as well as others. They said that last week. So they pulled out the old climate change argument excuse, ladies and gentlemen. However, the environmental excuse appears to be a smokescreen for the real desired outcome by the ECB, namely the formation of a central bank digital currency, CBDC, and the elimination of non-government control. They can't control it. It's garbage. Non-government controlled alternatives such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. They want to regulate that. They can't do that. Don't want you to make any money. They want all the money. So only central bank money can provide an anchor of stability. The solution is to extend today's two-tier monetary system into a digital age. This system is built on the complementary roles of the central bank and the commercial bank money. Isn't that sweet? They control the money. Do you get it, people? Do you get it? So I want to take a step back just for a moment before we, put a bow on this at the end. For peeps that don't live in the UK, let's talk about the last election for a moment. So you get an idea how things work under the EU system. It's a little different, but just as shady as over here. Boris Johnson, as you all know, was forced out of the race for a Tory leader and imposing Rishi Sunak, explicitly rejected. Rishi was explicitly rejected by the party grassroots, and the parliamentary elite showcased their utter contempt for regular conservatives more starkly than ever. So the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom has never been directly elected and is instead, technically invited to form a government by the monarch on the basis of their being, able to command a parliamentary majority. So if you look at this in practice from the elected House of Commons rather than the unelected House of the Lords or from outside, Parliament altogether, at least that was since 1902 for my research and more arguably 1963. So it is therefore something of a misnomer to say that the prime ministers who did not lead their parties during general elections are unelected. So with their defenders often pointing out that this is, not how Britain's parliamentary system works. Okay, so kind of look at this, although in reality, the idea that modern voters choose their individual, MP on the basis of his or her individual merit and judgment rather than their party affiliation, and to a great extent, the party's leaders at election time, is risible. So Rashid Sadek does not just lack a mandate from the public or party members, he has an anti-mandate, having been explicitly rejected by his party's grassroots in a head-to-head, contest with good old Liz Truss. So most people reasonably expect that in the absence of the indirect public mandate conveyed by, winning an election, the prime minister, hopeful should at least receive the blessing of ordinary members of, the political party they hail from, but not anymore. Who cares? So, nonetheless, a parliamentary party now wearing its disdain for its own supporters more brazenly than ever is now imposing him on them and demanding unity around him. What a joke. Despite themselves forcing Boris Johnson, who would have almost certainly have won a membership election against Sadiq, out of the running on the basis is that they would refuse to unify under him. So they didn't like him. They wanted to bring in the billionaire. So now we're going to go back to Rashid. Rashid loves CBDC. He has wet dreams about it every night. He has been knighted in by the Davos clan and is all in. He's all in. Prime Minister Rashid, who was essentially endorsed by Chinese state media, in contrast to, replace Boris Johnson as PM, which he lost. And he also, Rashid married into a multi-billion-dollar tech dynasty in India. He's been at the forefront of pushing, for the introduction of the CBDC in Britain. His family is big time in with the World Economic Forum. So if we look at, in contrast to Bitcoin, which, functions as a decentralized basis in which no single person can control its functions, ownership, or value, a CBDC would be similar to traditional fiat currency. Not good. Issued by essential banks such as the Bank of England, and therefore could, suffer from the same inflation issues if the central bank decides to issue more of it. Same as fiat, ladies and gentlemen. Just like printing cash, just like printing the cash. So should CBDC replace hard currency altogether, the government would be able to track. This is where it's different, folks. They'd be able to track every purchase or transaction made by the public. You think that's a good thing? The Bank of England has also admitted that a digital pound could be programmable. This is concerning as well. It would be programmable, meaning that the government could potentially add mechanisms to prevent people from spending their money. They don't want you to save your money, by the way. So they don't want you to spend your money on things that the state disapproves. China, they disapprove. You can't buy that. This has led to concerns, at least from some Western governments, could implement a system akin to a social credit system in communist China, which a lot of people in the United States want to do, which has already been used to blacklist millions of citizens from traveling, including those who dissented against the Chinese Communist Party. So they've been doing this in China for a while now. And a lot of people in the United States and the World Economic Forum, they believe in the China model. They want the China model everywhere in the world. So central bank digital currencies are also heavily supported, like I said, by the globalists, by Davos, by the World Economic Forum, which listed it among its technologies that would change the world by 2027. They want this so bad because, folks, it's more money for them at the top. The WEF said that the central bank digital currencies will revolutionize the financial system and put more money in their pockets, right? Though, they say it's going to improve the life, of course, the standard BS, and improve the lives of billions of people globally, providing access to cheap and affordable financial services. We have it right now. We have an unbelievable money transfer system, SWIFT, everything. This is about controlling money, turning your money off. So for banks and issuers, they'll be able to integrate their existing infrastructure and be able to provide a broad spectrum of CBDC linked payments related to services and exercise cross-chain, protocols, for universal payments across, to digital national currencies, like stable coins, NFTs, the metaverse, and much more. The W suggested they want to centralize it and control it all. It's just so that's where we're going. So they're on board in the EU. The Biden administration is on board. Biden formed a board for this. They're all working together, the EU and the United States. They are working towards the implementation of this and their versions of the currencies. So the bottom line, folks, this is about controlling your life more and taking your money, period. So many reasons why this is a bad idea. The use of this new technology also carries certain risks just on a lower level because each individual will need digital wallets, which are more susceptible to large-scale computer attacks than physical ones. Most likely to be from the government who will just go into your account and take your money. So there will be a fear that any type of cyber attack will take place and the citizens will lose their savings. Remember, they don't want you to save money. You're going to have to spend the money in a certain time period as well. And if you don't, you'll lose it. I'm not kidding. So wrapping this up, this digital currency is about creating a class of slaves, ladies and gentlemen, that can never cognitively rebel again. Just want your brain shut off. Programmable money. The state decides what you can spend. The state decides what you can save. They decide what you can and cannot buy. They want to create smart cities, mega cities. No more cars, no more road trips from city to city. I'm telling you, it's all about controlling the population. These people want the world to be the China model. This is just one part of the plan. And, take a look at, I found this journalist Whitney Webb, work around transhumanism and the history of corruption. Her books, volume 1 and 2, are stunning. They're stunning. The detail and footnoting is absolutely incredible. I'll put it, it's incredible. So, this is about global governance and technocracy. You will obey. This is not about left and right anymore, ladies and gentlemen. This is about coming together as a community. Talk to your neighbors. Get out there. Do speaking engagements at hotels. I'm going to be doing it. I said this. I believe in humanity and I believe in God. And this is about divide and conquering. Everyone's divided right now, and that's what they want. All this chaos is so these things can be implemented and you won't see it coming. We live in a wonderful country. I lived all over the world. I've been to some crazy places. And if you haven't, a lot of people haven't, you don't know how good you got it here. We got it very good. We're not perfect. We're not a perfect country, but we're pretty damn close compared to other countries. You want to go to Saudi Arabia? If you're a homosexual, they'll throw you off a building in 13 plus, countries. You want to go live in Somalia? Yeah, you think you're going to play professional basketball in Somalia or Iran and make millions of dollars? Huh? You got marijuana on you, and you go to Russia, and they arrest you for that. But that's their laws. You carry marijuana, you're arrested. Do we do that here? No. So how do you feel about your country? You go to Russia, you get arrested, you get put in jail for carrying marijuana. Are we such a bad country? You're an Olympian. You ascended to the highest levels in America and made it to the Olympics. You're going to make millions of dollars. We're such a horrible country. This is the best country in the world. I have a friend in London who's black, who's a multi-millionaire. He made it. I got another friend in India I sold an investment property to in Wisconsin. He's a millionaire, started his own business. I could go on and on. I got an Iranian friend who has got a gambling business. He's a doctor, killing it. He's got a house in Calabasas for $7 million. What a horrible country we are. This is the most diverse country in the world, and anyone can come here and make it. That's what's beautiful about this country. So I would urge you to do this. Stop watching football, at least curtail it. Stop playing video games. Stop drinking. And start being nice to your neighbor and get out there and talk to people, and don't hide in your house or behind social media. Get out there and talk to people. I got to go out today to a hotel for a business meeting, but then I'm going to stay late, and I have this men's group thing going on. We're going to talk. Get out and talk to people. And be nice. Take care.